It is the day of my high school graduation party, late May 2004. I'm graduating from high school the next day, and that fall I'm going to be attending the Ohio State University. At the party, helped my parents get the house set up and all of that. About 30 minutes before the party came downstairs, before the party was about ready to get started, my mom said, "Hey, I've got something in that bag there for you." I said, "Okay." Look in, and take a look and see what it is, and I pull it out and I say, "Oh, thanks, Mom, this is great. I appreciate it." "No, not that." "Oh, okay, this other thing here." So I reach in a little bit further and I pull it out and I look at it and I'm like, Rogaine. Now, in my mind, the first thing that popped in my head was, I'm glad that my girlfriend at the time or my grandma didn't make this mention to me. But then the next words out of my mom's mouth were, "Yeah, your girlfriend and your grandma also knows that you were starting to thin a little bit on the top." I am 18 years old, about to enter the best part of my life, and I was not owning it that I was losing my hair. Now, when it comes to hair loss, there are always these myths that surround them. Specifically, one we hear all the time is your mother's father. If your mother's father has a full head of hair, you'll have a full head of hair. Well, I'm a walking example that that is not true. My grandpa had a full head of hair. Both of his sons had a full head of hair. My cousin on that first side also has a full head of hair. And on my dad's side, my dad's bald, my grandpa's bald, and my uncle's bald. So that's not true at all. The next two have to do with hair follicles. Specifically, if you get too much sun exposure or you have too much bleach in your hair, you're gonna lose your hair right away. That's one of those things. You would have to have so much sun exposure or so much bleach in your hair that you look like Billy Idol to be able to lose your hair in that sense too. So that is also not really 100% true. And also the second one, take off your hat. I wear hats all the time. People say, if you wear a hat all the time, you're gonna lose your hair. You would have to wear your hat so tight all the time, in the shower, in bed, that you would have to be, that would result in an emergency room stay. So that also not really too true as well. And also raging testosterone. People say that if you have higher levels of testosterone, so if you're a guy like The Rock who's out there wrestling alligators, or if you're like this guy here doing an arm wrestling competition, your testosterone levels are gonna lead to hair loss. Also not 100% true. It's been shown that guys with higher level versus lower levels doesn't really matter. In the end, what it boils down to is genetics. The hand that you're dealt when you're born will determine how much hair you're gonna have at the beginning of your life and at the end of your life too. But there are other things that can lead to help with hair loss if you're going through it, such as sleep deprivation, stress, and alcohol consumption. So all I had to do was avoid those three things. Well, where was I going? College, and we knew that that wasn't going to happen. So what I did was I wore hats all the time. I grew these terrible sideburns, as you can see there in the photo, to try to deflect that. Hats in that picture there. But eventually, I got lazy with it, as you can tell. The turning point for me at my crossroads was I was at a party, junior year in college, and somebody came up to me I didn't know and said, "Hey, did you guys hear that there's somebody's 35-year-old balding ginger uncle at the party?" And I knew right away he was talking about me. And that put me at the crossroads to say, I need to do something. So I had some conversations with my parents. They said, you're past 18, you can make your own decisions. So I thought about it, and during that time, I never used any products like this, so those didn't even cross my mind. But what happened was, I had a conversation with my good friend Pat. He said, "You know what? You just have to own it. People know you're losing your hair. It's one of those things that comes with life. Nobody's gonna treat you any differently. Just own it and go with it." And after that conversation was when I really owned it. So I started shaving my head. For the last 13 years, that's what I've been doing. Now, with this current look that I have, I get people that tell me all the time, "You're never gonna believe this. I know this guy that looks exactly like you." It's a very recognizable look. So the first thing that pops in my head is somebody that looks like this. But 9 times out of 10, it's somebody that looks like that. And with this current look, it's one of those things that, it comes and goes. And recently, one of the things that I've come across, as you can see in that picture, and even here, that I've got a lot more grays appearing in my beard in that sense too. So it's one of those things that if you see me one day and I come in here clean shaven, you know I own that too. Thank you.
Can the timers give us 1 minute?
2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Between contests, you need 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
And my ballot counter, can you help pick up the? We've got to follow procedure. I realize it would be redundant for me to follow procedure.